Ah yes, I thought it would never happen, ladies and gentlemen, but the GTA trilogy is finally upon us. I remember having several discussions with one of my best mates going, should Rockstar really remake Vice City? Wouldn't it make more sense to focus on a remaster instead? No, you dingus, leave it alone entirely. Then Rockstar Games went, how about all the early 2000s goodness? And now we're here. Hey, it's Anthony from TBN, and today we'll be taking a look at some of the most nostalgic and, dare I say, most influential releases of all time in the GTA Trilogy Pack. Yeah, the full title is a bit of a mouthful, not gonna lie. Alright, so normally for these versus type of videos, I'll talk about how the games stack up to their modern counterparts, if it's still worth playing, what to expect, yada yada yada, stuff like that. But for these titles, you guys already know that they're classics. So instead, let's first take a gander at the graphics, then talk about all the big changes from the original trilogy. When it comes to the visuals, I'm actually erring on the more positive side of things. The cel-shaded / cartoonish style honestly doesn't look too bad, most of the time. If Rockstar went for a more realistic Red Dead Redemption kind of aesthetic, I think these games would have lost that janky, low-res flavor. Series vets will know what I'm talking about. As a whole though, the main character models are rendered with a decent amount of detail, but minor characters definitely could have used some more time in the oven. The movement animations still look pretty clunky, but this is a remaster at the end of the day, and that is how the original games came across after all. Hence, the herky-jerky charm is still present. Nevertheless, the lighting and environmental assets are a noticeable improvement. I especially loved driving through low light areas at night. It's very easy on the eyes. Okay, so what's been changed from the source material? Well, there are several quality of life aspects that are now universal amongst each three games, such as GPS-style minimaps and custom waypoint markers, a weapon wheel and control system similar to GTA 5, as well as auto and manual saves. And you can now quickly restart missions without running back from the hospital like a goose. For Nintendo Switch owners, not only can you play some Vice City on the toilet, but you can also use gyro controls for aiming firearms. Speaking of Nintendo Switch, that was the version I captured footage on, and it was a little framey at times, especially when driving through crowded streets. It felt like the game was catching up to itself a little too often. So unless you really want to play the games in bed like me, I'd recommend picking it up on any other platform besides the Switch. Before we continue, are you able to help us hit 2,000 subs on YouTube? Would really appreciate the support. Thanks guys. Unfortunately, there is some content that was cut from the originals. The 2-player free roam feature has been taken out of San Andreas. There's a touch of censorship with a certain character in Vice City, and a whole stack of songs from San Andreas and Vice City have been removed, apparently due to licensing issues. I don't know. This is easily the biggest grievance I have with the GTA trilogy, as some of these tracks are iconic to their respective games. I'll put up a list on screen for you guys to check out, but man, not having either of MJ's songs or NWA's Express Yourself is kinda sad. I'm sure someone will mod them back in on the PC version though. That all being said, if you haven't played these games before, or are looking for a big, juicy nostalgia hit, then the GTA trilogy is definitely worth the investment. The unified GTA 5 styled control scheme and quality of life features make each entry a cinch to jump into. And running through each game in the trilogy will add up to a bare minimum of 75 plus hours of gameplay. All three of these titles are such classics, and even though they are pretty jank at times, you're still going to have a great experience regardless. Guys, make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already, and check out our team's podcast if you don't think my voice is too annoying. Links in the description. See you guys in the next video.